Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to take a look at Mirillis Action Screen Recorder. And the reason I'm doing this video is actually because I do have an older version where I was sort of comparing fraps to Mirillis Action that I uploaded to YouTube. And you can't really rely on that video anymore because it's getting really outdated. There's a lot newer versions out there of both fraps and Mirillis Action. And I still see a lot of people commenting on that video. And it kind of frustrates me because that's an older version and a lot of the mistakes that Action or fraps had back then has been fixed by today. So I sort of wanted to do an update. I wanted to do like a 2014 review and get all excited here and show you guys what kind of features has been added and what bugs has been removed and stuff. So let's just go ahead and jump straight into it here. As you guys can see, I'm actually using Mirillis Action to record my screen right now. And as you can see, there's actually two sections to it. You have the left section here, where you have all the videos you recorded. You have the right section over here, which shows you all the different settings for it. And up here in the corner, you should have the frames per second counter that shows how long have you been recording and stuff. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start with the little recording icon up in the corner here, the little frames per second counter. One difference between fraps and Action is that Action tells you how long have you been recording, which I think is so good. Because if I'm recording something I need to upload to YouTube, if I like to upload 15 minutes videos and I don't like to record 20 minutes or something like that, I can see exactly when I need to stop the video. It is so nice, I think. So, having that little thing up there really helps you compared to fraps. Now, if you take a look at this dashboard here, you can actually see that over here on the left side, you can choose where do you want to save your videos. Now, this is where to save your raw footage, not when you export it, okay? You can actually, when you record something like this video here, if I go down the bottom here, you can either preview it by playing it inside Mirillis Action, or you can choose to open the output folder, or you can actually export the file, which I don't really get, because you can actually take the raw footage, put it inside a editing program, and just use it. You don't need to export it, so I don't know why they have it down there, but there must be some sort of you guys out there who have an idea about why you should use export, so I'm just going to leave that for now. If you do decide to upload your footage directly to Facebook or YouTube, you can do that too down here. So that's kind of a nice feature. Over here on the right side, let's just go ahead and take a look at the menu up here. You can have the video recording setting, live recording setting, audio recording setting, benchmark setting, screenshot setting, and the regular settings. And then up here you can actually see what sort of version am I recording with right now. As you can see, it's 1.19.2.0. and I am the one licensed for this, okay? So, enough being said about the version. Let's just go ahead and dive straight into the video recording settings here. Now, as you can see, it actually shows me what button do I need to click in order to start recording up here. You cannot change that here. You actually do need to go into your settings and change it, which can get a little annoying, but it's okay, because I don't mind going into the settings to change it. Down here, you do actually have the recording mode. Am I recording the applications or games? Am I recording desktop? Or do I want to record a certain section of my screen? Now, fraps does not have that feature. I need to point that out. If you do want to record with fraps, you can only record the full screen for that. Down here, you have the file format. You can choose AVI or MP4. Now, I have it on AVI, not because I like AVI, but because AVI is the only format it will allow you to record at 1080 pixels. Okay, if you choose MP4, you have to record at 720 pixels. You cannot go to 1080. Now, they did have a older version of Mirillis Action Screen Recorder where you could choose another kind of MP4 and it would actually allow you to record at 1080. I do not know why they removed it again. Maybe it crashed for some people. Maybe it did something it shouldn't do. But you can't do that anymore. Down here, you can choose the video frame rate. There's so many settings in here. Now, you cannot type in a customized frame rate you want to record at like you can in fraps, but it has everything from 15, I think, till 120. So you don't need more or less than that. Now, one thing I need to point out here is that if you do decide to use your footage for YouTube, no matter the frame rate you record at, when you upload to YouTube, YouTube will make your recording 30 frames per second, okay? So if you choose 60, the only difference it's going to make is that it's going to make your the amount of space that your footage take up in your hard disk is going to increase that. It's not going to do anything more than that. So uploading to YouTube, you don't need more than 30 frames per second. Down here you can choose the duration. How long do you want to record? Now I did not take this one off because I would like to just record infinitely until I run out of space on my hard disk if I choose so. But you can actually choose how many hours, minutes, seconds you want to record as soon as you hit that record button. Down here you have something called Use Perfect Video Match Mode. Now, if you just do regular video game recording or desktop recording, you don't need this on. It's only used for special circumstances, and I don't remember what those are. But you can actually click this little icon here and it will open up and tell you about it. You can also just go to the website and read what it is. Down here you have the record system sounds, which actually means that do you want to record the sounds that is coming out of your computer. Let's say you're playing a game. Do you want to record the game sounds? Then you need to make sure you have that checked off. Because if you have that checked off, or like not checked off, then you can't hear anything from the game. So you do need to make sure you have that one checked on. Down here you can allow it for multi-channel audio recording. Now, the reason I do not have that one checked off is because I am not recording with my microphone inside the Mirillis Action Screen Recorder. I do actually use Audacity when I record my sound, and then I merge it into my video afterwards. Because I have bad experience with using screen recorders for recording sound, mainly because I don't have the option to customize it as much. But you can choose it. If you do not want to spend a lot of time customizing your audio afterwards, you can just record with your screen recorder. If you go into live settings here, there's actually two menus down here, and I'm not going to show you the left one because it actually shows some personal information that I do not want you guys to get your hold of. So I'm just going to show you guys the right one here. Now in here, if you do pay extra, and yes, I did say you do need to pay extra to get this feature here. This is the only feature you need to pay extra for, by the way. You can actually do live streaming. Now, there's another program called OBS that you can download, Open Broadcasting Software, I think it's called, that you can use instead of this, and it's free. So there's no reason to get this feature at all, but you can get it. And it's basically just recording and which format you want to record at, and then do live streaming. And it actually gives you the option here of if you want to also save the footage that you record instead of just live streaming it and not saving it anywhere. So it's not that important because it's not that good. So I'm just going to move on here. Inside here you have the audio settings. You can actually choose the duration for the audio settings just like you could with the video. You can choose the output format if it's WAV or MP4 audio. Now I usually choose WAV because I like it better when I have to edit it. Down here you can also choose if you want multi-channel audio recording just like you could in the video section. And you can also choose if you want to record silence. Now what that means is basically that let's say you're doing a gameplay and you're not always talking. The moments that you're not talking, the microphone will cut off and not record anything. Now I don't really see why you should not have that one checked on, because record the silence is pretty much what everyone does nowadays. So you can just leave it on and just leave it there. And down here you can actually choose if you do not want to record with the microphone, if you always want to record with the microphone, or if you want to be able to hold down a specific button in order for it to record. So I'm just going to leave it at not record. Going over here to the benchmarking settings, we have basic benchmarking. There's not a lot of options in here, and there shouldn't really be. You can check off the duration and just say how long do you want to benchmark, and then you can start it down here, or you can just click the whatever stop benchmark recording preset button is. It's F11 it says, but I don't really use benchmarking that much, so I'm not going to get too much into it. Over here we have the screenshot settings. I don't use this a lot either, but just really quickly, the file format that has BMP, PNG, and JPEG. Okay, down here you can choose what area do you want to do the screenshot at. Now you can either choose the entire desktop, or if you're like me and have two different monitors, you can choose desktop 1 or desktop 2. Over here in the regular settings, you can actually see that we have the general settings here where you can actually choose the language, and it does actually have quite a few languages you can choose from, which I think is pretty nice. Over here you can choose the application to always be on top when you do open up other softwares. Let's say I open up Audacity here. Now as you can see, Audacity went on top of my Mirillis Action Screen Recorder window. If you check that one off, the Mirillis Action will always be on top, no matter what. I don't see why you need to have it on, but you can choose to if you want so. Down here you can choose if you always wanted to check for updates, which I think should be on because I always want to have the latest one. You can also choose to start the application, minimize to trace, and when you actually do start off the program, you don't see it in the window like you do here, but it actually just go down in the bottom of the screen and go down there. You can also decide if you want to hide the action window on desktop recording as soon as you start recording, which as you can see I don't have because it's not hidden, but you can actually hide it as soon as you click start. Down here you can also choose if you want to like show action window when desktop recording is finished, which basically means that when you hit stop recording, the action window will pop up here and you can straight away export or whatever you want to do. And the bottom here you can actually enable action remote control, which by the way I do not know what is. I should probably have read into that, but I do not know what that one is. There's so many features in here, I do not know all of them, so you have to bear with me. If I go into the video settings here, you can actually see that we can choose the quality. Now, there's low, normal, and high quality. Don't go for high, because the only thing, if you choose normal, it is as good quality as any other screen recorder out there is. It is as good quality as you see it right now on the screen. Well, you guys can see it because you're seeing the video, but as I am watching the screen, that's how good quality it is when I choose normal. You don't need higher. The only thing it does is it add extra gigabytes to your raw footage. Okay, so just choose normal. You don't need more than that. Then you have the bitrate, MP4, which I don't know what is. Sorry guys, but you can actually change it here. You can also choose the input range. And there's two different kinds of options here. Now, I don't know what input range is either. Sorry guys. But I bet there's a lot of you hardcore recording screen nerds out there who knows what that is. So you can always Google it. Then here you can choose to use multi-core recording, and I do have that one on. Multi-core recording is called, and you can also choose to record the mouse cursor as you record. As you can see, you can actually see my mouse cursor, which I think is pretty important when I'm doing a review. But you can actually check it off, and then you guys can't see it anymore. So you can also choose to visualize the mouse clicks. So if you check that one off, when I click, you can actually see either like circles coming out from my cursor or something like that. So it's just going to visualize every time I click so you guys can follow easier. Down the bottom here, it has a really nice feature, which is overlay graphic settings. Basically, if you have some sort of logo or something like that you want to put on top of your video, you can check that one off, choose a file, and choose where to put it. Okay? Now going into the webcam settings, you can actually do the same thing here. You can actually choose to put the webcam on top of your recording when you're recording. I do not use that because I do not use my webcam for recording. I actually use a professional camera. But you can actually choose it in here. And just to show you guys, actually, can I do that since I'm recording? I'm going to test it out. Let's see. You can choose to not record, always record, or record on button down. Okay. I'm going to choose just do not record right now. And if you see down here, you can actually choose the webcam you want to record from. I can either choose do not record or the webcam that I do have here. Down here you can choose the video size, like how big do you want your webcam or face cam to be. And down here you can actually add another webcam, which I don't see the need for, but you can actually do it. So let's go ahead and see the preview. And I do not know if this is going to screw up my recording, so I'll just try it. And well, you guys can see me, but yeah, it did not screw up my recording. Good. But you can actually see where you're recording your webcam. You can adjust it, you can move it around, stuff like that. So going into the microphone settings here, you can actually see that you can choose which audio device to record from. This is if you do choose to record on a microphone on top of your footage. Okay, so you can choose if you want to use my professional microphone that I'm using right now, or if I want to choose my webcam microphone, which I'm not going to because it sucks. Down here you can choose the volume. You can also choose to record microphone into separate audio tracks, which by the way is really useful. Like I said, I use Audacity to record because it gives me the option that I can actually customize it more when I have to post-edit it. But if you do this, you can actually just use this one instead. You don't need to use Audacity. I'm only using Audacity because I'm really comfortable with it, and I have never tried this feature before, so it kind of scares me a bit. Down here you have the system sounds, which means that, which speaker, or like when you record a gameplay, for example, if I have more speakers or more headsets put into my computer, which one do I want to record the sound from? So I'm just going to put it for default. Down here is one heck of a nice feature. It's called audio balance. Now, if you do choose to use your microphone to record voiceover as you're doing gameplay, you can experiment a bit here and actually choose how much microphone should you hear compared to gameplay sound, which so many screen recorders lack. I cannot tell you how important this little feature is, and how few screen recorders actually do have it. It is so awesome. If I did in fact not choose to do extra stuff and actually edit my sound afterwards I'm done recording, this feature would be so good for me to use. So having this thing here is a big plus. Down here there's something called AAC bitrate, which, by the way, sorry guys, I do not know what it is. Something about kilobytes per second. I would guess that the more kilobytes per second, the better quality, but the more space it takes up. That's my guess. Up here, we do have the HUD settings. You can choose if you want to hide the HUD settings during desktop recording. I actually have that one checked on, usually. But since I want to show you guys the frame rate counter up in the corner, which, by the way, I do hope that I'm showing you guys, I have that one checked off, okay? Then you can also choose to not record the HUD in games and applications. Now, if you're doing a gameplay video and you want to upload to YouTube, if you do not want other people to see the little icon up in the corner that shows the frame rate and how long you've been recording, just check that one on because you don't need to show people that. Down here you can choose to hide the HUD on action startup, which means that basically you can't see the HUD up here in the corner when you start action up. Now, I want to see it, so I'm just gonna leave that one off. And down here you can actually choose where to show the HUD settings, the HUD positioning. So you can choose in the middle, corner, corner, middle, corner, corner, and up or down. And if you do change this, as you can see, it does not change right away. You do actually need to shut down the program and start it up again before this change takes into effect. Over here we have the export settings, and this is what I was mentioning. Up here you actually have the raw footage stored option, where down here when you choose to export it, down in the bottom here you can choose where to export it to. So this is also a very important one to use if you do actually choose to export your footage every time. In here you can choose to use hardware acceleration for video encoding, which, by the way, I don't know what that is. I only have one option here, so there's nothing much I can do about it. Down here you can also choose if you want to export the mouse cursor, which I believe if you check that one off, like don't check it on, if you do have your mouse cursor showing in your recording, it will actually take it off if you export it. I'm not sure, I haven't tried it before, but that's my guess. The same thing down here with the export mouse clicks visualization. When you click and you have that one on where it shows where to click, you can also choose not to export that. Down here we have the upload settings. If you do upload to YouTube, you're probably going to need to type in your password and username so it can actually upload, so you don't just upload to someone's random account. And you can choose that it always remembers your password, so you don't have to do it every single time. You can also automatically split the files into parts, which is a really nice feature. If you are a YouTuber and you don't want more than 15 minutes to be on each episode you upload, you can check that one on and it'll only upload 15 minutes at a time. Last setting I want to mention here is the hotkey settings. In here is actually where you need to go if you want to change the hotkey for video recording, audio recording, benchmarking, screenshots, blah, 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 etc. If you do want to change them, you don't need to click it. If I click it, nothing happens, but you need to hover on top of it and click another button, and then it changes, okay? Very basic. That's pretty much what I had for the dashboard. Now, I want to talk about a couple of the features that has been added or improved over the time with this software. At the moment, if you do want to record on a Windows 8 computer, you cannot use Fraps for desktop recording. You can use it for gameplay recording, but on Windows 8, you cannot desktop record, which I'm doing right now. On Mirillis Action, however, if you're on Windows 8, you can use desktop recording. So that is a huge plus to Mirillis Action. I'm not saying that Fraps will never be able to Windows 8 desktop record. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying right now, as I uploaded this video, Fraps cannot record the desktop. Okay? So right now, I would say Action Screen Recorder is the leading screen recorder at the moment for Windows. And it's just such a shame that Fraps does not record the desktop. And I know they will have to fix it, otherwise they're gonna pretty much get outrun by all the competitors, but it will probably be added in the future. Now, another thing I want to mention here is that if you do record gameplay, if you use Action Screen Recorder now, it will not crash your games. At least I have not experienced it yet to be crashing my games. If you go back a year to some of the older versions of Mirillis Action, yes, it would crash a lot of your games. And sometimes it wouldn't even start up. When I opened up Action Screen Recorder, it wouldn't even start. There has been so many bugs in the past. Stuff that didn't work. You couldn't even open the software. All of that has been fixed now. At least in this version, it has been fixed. And I'm so happy. Because my leading screen recorder right now, the one I'm using for all my gameplay, all my desktop recordings on YouTube at the moment, is from Action. So really, hands up for Action for really improving their software so much that it's so good. Another thing is that if you're actually recording something and your game crashes and you don't get to click that stop recording button, I have not experienced yet that my files get corrupted when that happens. Fraps does not do it either. It doesn't corrupt it either, but Action used to actually corrupt it, and it doesn't anymore, which I experienced on my computer at least. But other than that, I don't think there's a lot more differences. If I had to recommend a screen recorder, I would recommend Action, because it is, I think it's better. I use it for everything. I did actually use PlayClaw screen recorder to record this tutorial, this review. My first time I went through this review. This is actually my second time recording it, and PlayClaw screwed up my recording. So I'm going to do another review on PlayClaw. It's not going to be nice, but I will in fact review it. The reason I do have PlayClaw screen recorder is because if you do actually have a game that you have to remember, all screen recorders will lower your frame rate as soon as you start recording a game. It will lower your frame rate. It doesn't matter which one you're using. But some screen recorders lower it less than others. And PlayClaw screen recorder is really famous for not lowering the frames per second that much. That's why I have it, because when I had my old computer, I desperately needed it to record some of my gameplay. Now that I have a better computer, I don't need PlayClaw at all. But that's for another time. So I hope you guys find this useful. Don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to me. That would be very helpful. And I hope to see you guys later. Bye.